What is depression? What causes them? Is there a certain solution to prevent and solve this problem? According to Helen M. Farrell, a board-certified psychiatrist and forensic psychiatrist, depression and feeling depressed are two different things. Clinical depression is different. It's a medical disorder, and it won't go away just because you want it to. It lingers for at least 2 consecutive weeks and significantly interferes with one's ability to work, play, or love. Based on a paper English Journal of Medicine published in 2019, there are 9 criteria for major depressive disorder that they would experience most of the day or nearly every day. Pause this video so you could read it. How many people are there experiencing depression or other mental health issues? There is a study produced by the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation that estimates 792 million people lived with a mental health disorder. This is slightly more than 1 in 10 people globally, and 264 million of them have clinical depression. And this paper told us in the first year of the COVID-19 pandemic suggests that 1 in 4 youth globally are experiencing clinically elevated depression symptoms, while 1 in 5 youth is experiencing clinically elevated anxiety symptoms. One of the key reasons there are so many people having depression is loneliness. Do you know that we are the loneliest generation in human history? There is a survey done by YouGov in 2019 that asked 1,254 Americans over 18 about friendship and loneliness, and 30% of millennials say they felt lonely, often, or always. By contrast, 20% of Gen X and only 15% of baby boomers gave those answers. There is also research by global health service company Cigna, which surveyed more than 20,000 adults in America aged 18 and older and utilized the UCLA Loneliness Scale to tally scores on a scale of 20 to 80, identifying those that scored above a 43 as being officially lonely. An astonishing 43% of participants, that's 2 in 5 Americans, sometimes or always feel isolated from others and that their relationships are not meaningful. Additionally, 27%, that's 1 in 4 Americans, rarely or never feel a meaningful relationship, as though there are people that really understand and connect with them. Alright, enough with the data. Then, what can we do about it? If you feeling any of the symptoms you cannot self-diagnose. A comprehensive assessment of depression should not rely simply on a symptom count but should take into account the degree of functional impairment, disability, or both with professional help. Johann Hari, the writer of the book Lost Connections, Why You're Depressed and How to Find Hope, told a story in his TED Talk 2 years ago about his interview with a South African psychiatrist, Dr. Derek Summerfield. Dr. Summerfield is in Cambodia in 2001 to introduce chemical antidepressants for people in that country, but they said to him that they've already got antidepressants. They told Dr. Summerfield a story about a farmer in their community who worked in the rice fields, and one day he stood on a landmine left over after the war with America, and he got his leg blown off. So they gave him an artificial leg, and after a while, he went back to work in the rice fields, but it's painful to work underwater using an artificial limb. And maybe it was traumatic for him, working in the field where he got blown up. Then this guy started to cry all day, refused to get out of bed, and developed depression symptoms. One day the Cambodian doctor came to sit with him and really listened to him. Then one of the doctors figured that if we bought him a cow he could be a dairy farmer, and he wouldn't have to go to the rice fields. So they bought him a cow. After a couple of weeks his crying stopped, and within a month his depression was gone. They said to Dr. Summerfield, "So you see, doctor, that cow, that was an antidepressant. That's what you mean, right?" In this modern day, if we have depression and we go to a psychiatrist, usually we've been told that it's because simply our brain is having a malfunction, and we only need medication to feel better. What this story trying to say is that if you're depressed, you are not a machine with broken parts, or just because your brain is chemically unbalanced. But if you're depressed, that means you're a human being with unmet needs. Human needs, natural psychological needs, such as you need to feel that you belong, have a meaning and purpose in this life, and got a plan that makes sense for your future. These days, many people praise values that don't really have good meaning for our lives, such as having more or spending more, having expensive cars, expensive homes, or flagship technology to be happy. There is a research that Professor Tim Kasser from Knox College has been doing for about 30 years tells us that the more you believe you can buy and display your way out of sadness and into a good life, the more likely you are to become depressed and anxious. Secondly, as a society, we have become much more driven by these beliefs. Junk values don't meet your psychological needs, they take you away from good life. When you are having depression or feeling depressed, remember, depression is not a malfunction, it's a signal, it's telling you something, and think about a moment in your life that had actually found meaning and purpose. Ask yourself, how could you dedicate more of your life to pursuing these moments of meaning and purpose?